All right, let's dive into a story that's seriously chilling. It's called Boot Bangla, which you could translate to the ghost bungalow. But this one is all about the groom's curse. And this story, well, it's a powerful reminder that some legends aren't just stories, they're warnings.
So here's the question at the heart of this whole thing. How does a perfect romantic getaway, something filled with love and excitement, how does that twist and turn into a paranormal nightmare with absolutely no way out? Well, that is exactly the story we're getting into today.
So our story kicks off with a birthday getaway, a trip that was supposed to change everything. And it did, just not in the way anyone could have possibly imagined.
Okay, let's meet our main characters, Nisha and Arav. They've been together for about 5 years. Nisha is a writer, and she is just fascinated by all things mysterious. Ruins, legends, you get the picture. And Arav, he's a photographer who basically lives to capture every single moment. You'd think they were a perfect match, right? But their passions, well, they were about to collide in the absolute worst way possible.
Arav has this big plan for Nisha's birthday, a surprise camping trip. Just the two of them. In fact, Nisha even suggested bringing friends along, but Arav was pretty insistent. It had to be special, just for them. Little did he know that one single decision was about to seal their fate.
And this is where their trip takes a really sharp, dark turn. They end up in this village, Rudhurpur, and it feels like a place that time just completely forgot about. The most unsettling part? The silence. It just speaks volumes.
Okay, so picture this. They drive into Rudhirpur and the vibe is just wrong. It's deathly silent. But outside every single home, there are these burning torches. And the doors? Every door is painted blood red, with these strange mantras scrawled all over them in black paint. It's like the entire village is putting up a giant keep out sign without making a sound.
So Arav, ever the photographer, he can't resist. He gets out of the car to take some pictures of these eerie sights. And then, out of nowhere, this frantic old woman appears. And get this, she's dressed in a red bridal outfit. She looks absolutely terrified, yells this warning at him, and then, poof, she vanishes, just gone.
Arav is still trying to process what just happened when he looks back at the car and sees something impossible. Nisha is gone. In her place, he sees this vision of her being led into the darkness by a groom with a blood-drenched hand. He screams her name, and in a blink, she's back, right beside him, totally fine, asking him what's wrong. For Arav, right at this moment, the line between what's real and what isn't has just been completely erased.
So they're obviously shaken up. They get out of that village and set up their campsite nearby. But the thing is, the terror didn't stay in Rudhirpur. It followed them. And now, Arad's camera is about to show him a horrifying reality that his own eyes just can't see.
This is where things get truly nightmarish. They've got a bonfire going, and Nisha asks Arav to take her picture. So he does. He snaps a photo, looks at the camera screen, and his heart just stops. There, standing right behind a smiling Nisha, is a figure in a groom's sara. He takes another picture. The figure is closer. And here's the absolute kicker. Nisha looks at the very same photos and sees nothing. She just sees beautiful pictures of herself by the fire. Only Arav can see the ghost in the machine. Later that night, Arav obviously can't sleep. So he forces himself to look back at the photos he took in the village. And yep, his worst fears are confirmed. In every single shot, standing silently in front of each of those blood-red doors, is the same spectral groom. It's not a hallucination. He's being haunted.
The next evening, after spending a whole day just trying to forget the horrors of the night before, they see it. That dilapidated old bungalow Nisha had pointed out earlier, it's not a ruin anymore. It's glowing with light, looking like a grand palace. And drawn by some force they just can't explain, they decide to go check it out.
And inside, it's even weirder. There's this magnificent feast laid out on silver platters, totally fit for royalty. The air is thick with the smell of flowers, but like dead flowers. And the strangest part of it all? The grand hall is completely empty. Not a single soul in sight. It's a beautiful, lavish, and deeply sinister trap.
And then, it all happens at once. The main doors slam shut, trapping them inside. The ghostly groom appears, walking down the grand staircase. Arav tries to move, to run, but his feet feel frozen to the floor. He can only watch in absolute horror as Nisha's eyes turn a milky white and she starts walking towards the groom like she's a puppet on a string. The groom places a garland of dead flowers around her neck, and right there, in front of Arav, they complete some sort of horrifying wedding ceremony, before Nisha just dissolves into a cloud of smoke.
Arav hears one last, agonizing scream, and then silence. The grand illusion just shatters around him. The palace, the lights, the feast, it's all gone. He's just standing there, alone, in the dark, dusty ruins of the Boot Bangla. Nisha is gone.
Frantic and completely broken, Arav runs back to the village. He finds that same old woman in the red bridal dress, and this time she finally tells him the terrible truth of the bungalow and the curse that haunts it.
That ghostly groom? She explains he's the spirit of a wicked zamindar, an old landlord who is obsessed with dark magic. He was trying to become immortal and his ritual was truly monstrous. On every new moon, he would forcibly marry a young woman and then sacrifice her.
And here's how the terrifying cycle works. Years and years ago, the villagers finally had enough. They rose up and burned the zamindar alive inside his own mansion. But his evil was too strong. His spirit became trapped there, bound to the ruins. So now, on every single new moon, his spirit reawakens, the ghost bungalow reappears, and he wakes to claim a new bride. And of course, the day Arav and Nisha arrived, it was the new moon, and the zamindar chose Nisha.
And with the old woman's final, devastating words, Arav's fate is sealed. He's left with the soul-crushing realization that in his attempt to create a perfect birthday memory, he personally delivered the love of his life to a monster. She is the bungalow's bride now, and she will never, ever return. It really leaves you wondering, which is the greater curse? The one that trapped Nisha forever, or the one that forces Arav to live with what he's done?